What is going on, guys? It's Adam and Marf. Today we have a great show for you. We'll be right back right after this. Remember, nothing in this show should be considered legal, medical, or financial advice. The views of the callers can differ considerably and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of myself, Dex, or anyone else on the show. You should always do your own research and consult with professionals. The internet is full of fake news, so please take everything with a grain of salt. With that out of the way, my name is Adam, a.k.a. Marf, and this is Marfoogle News. If you're new here, you can actually follow along on the web at marfooglenews.com. In fact, we have taken the time before every single show to make sure that we have a bibliography of sorts so you know exactly where your news is coming from. It is very easy to navigate. When you go to this thumbnail, which it's organized by thumbnail, you will see that we have today's show lined up there. It says rocket the size of a planet ender. When you click on this, you will be able to get to all of our sources. So that makes sure that you can either go here without watching the show, and you can end up going back and looking at the news we picked through. And we also have web-only content. The web-only content is too hot for TV, basically the stuff that gets rid of channels. So that is all there. That is definitely very important. And then if you want to support us, on the right side is all of our affiliates, our PayPal. If you want to do a PayPal during the show and have us read out something, you can do that there as well. Let's bring in my co-host / internet brother, Dex. What is going on, Dex, and how are you doing today?
Well, hello, Adam, and hello, Foogle fam. I'm doing just fine.
So I do want to tell you guys, sorry about the late show. I am asking for prayer. We have two sick little ones. My 2-year-old Violet and my 7-month-old Jack have both come down with something. And then my 2-year-old has been dealing with something since that 118-degree day, which was kind of a heat thing that turned into something, worse. But I do want to thank everybody that is at Children's Hospital here. I don't know how many children's hospitals are around the country, but the one here, they have gone above and beyond every single time. We had my 15-year-old there when she was about 6. She had a really serious thing right next to one of her glands. That was incredible. And then now with our 2-year-old, even the pharmacists sit there extra time and they make sure that everything is okay and see if there's anything they can do. There's never been a place or business that I've ever been to that goes above and beyond like Children's Hospital. And I just ask for everybody's prayer. It's really hard to watch a 2-year-old or anyone suffer along, those lines. But, especially when they can't communicate, the pain they're in or something like that. It's just really, anybody that has kids knows exactly how that is. So anyways, let's get straight into the news. Remember, you can get notifications from us at marfooglenews.com. You can actually go and get push notifications directly, and you can sign up for our email alerts. So make sure to do that as well. So again, you can bookmark this or screenshot this right here and save it for later if you can't remember. Fears on the rise for Leaning Tower of San Francisco following Surfside condo collapse in Florida. So apparently this building is somewhat, known for the fact that it is leaning. It says the partial collapse of a condo in Florida has left 24 people perished and almost 100 more feared dead in the tragedy as well. And it says the exact cause of the collapse remains unknown, but initial theories suggest structural weaknesses in the lower part of the building. It says that the elite 58-story Millennium Tower, also known as, quote, the Leaning Tower of San Francisco, has regained public interest in light of the recent tragedy in Florida due to the building sinking 18 inches or 42 centimeters and starting to tilt since its construction in 2009. The structural changes were reported back in 2017, and since the owners of 400 elite apartments worth millions of dollars have reached a settlement with the tower's developer to fix the tilt and prevent further sinking. It says, however, unconfirmed allegations that the 40-year-old Surfside condo's collapse in Florida almost 2 weeks ago happened due to structural weakening in the pool area, and the garage sparked renewed safety concerns among those living in the Millennium Tower. I do want to point out, You know, no hate towards the actual person, but this is actually Sputnik. And funny enough, this is a horribly wrote, run-on sentence filled article. Mainly the point of this is that this building is actually leaning, and actually, when we look at this, so 18 inches, that is almost 2 feet that a part of this entire tower has sunk. That's a giant amount. Dex, if your house sunk 2 feet in one part, that would be quite noticeable, but we're talking about a tower. That's nuts. Oh, it's okay. I'll just...
That would be nuts.
Sorry, and I muted you there after a long pause. As far as the tower goes, the thing is people are going to start comparing everything to this. This is a rare thing, and that's why there are so many people that have basically said like they don't get why this happened. When you see the video of it free fall, it's like, how many times have we seen this happen before? I've been covering a lot of weird stuff, and I've not covered this in the last few years. I've never seen something like that.
I think we'll see a lot of this come up, as everybody's now worried about it. They're going to be looking at just about anything and everything they can now to find, a scenario that says we should be looking at this building, right? It's sort of bringing an awareness to this, right?
Yeah, but again, going back to how it fell, I still don't understand how the pool area just made everything pancake like that. It was just very strange. And to find out, it is steel rebar reinforced building. It wasn't completely wood or something. I still don't understand it. I don't think anybody will ever get the answers that they really want out of it. What do you think? Put it in the comments below if you think that they should immediately get out of this Millennium Tower, or do you think that they should fix it before people keep living in it? I don't know. And then, of course, SpaceX is launching a rocket the size of the Statue of Liberty. It says SpaceX is aiming to launch the next big test this month with the Starship, the spacecraft designed to fly humans to Mars. The company successfully launched a Starship upper stage prototype, or the SN-15, in the sky and then landed it in one piece in May, supposedly. It says the next flight will be launching the next generation upper stage, or SN-20, on top of a giant booster called Super Heavy, to the orbital altitude of at least 160 kilometers or 100 miles in the sky. It says the booster spacecraft combo will be an unheard of scale. On July 1st, SpaceX CEO Elon Musk tweeted out 2 photos of the Super Heavy standing at the Starbase test site in Boca Chica. It says the booster alone is 230 feet, or at least 70 meters tall, roughly the size of the Statue of Liberty. With the 100 feet tall upper stage attached, the whole stack will stand nearly 400 feet. So that's just short of, say, a Space Needle. This thing is absolutely giant. It says the whole stack being 400 feet, making it the largest rocket ever built to go to space. Now, I know that there's debate in even our group of friends here whether they're really going up to space or whatever they're doing with it, but I will say this. There have been so many different pieces of articles that have said that they have, let me see here, let me turn that off, that they have, asteroids the size of a Statue of Liberty or the size of an Empire State Building. One thing that I have a prediction of is that we will also see rockets this big, and they will supposedly say in the future that we would need a rocket this big to knock out an object this big. I think it's incredible that they're saying that they're doing this big scale, but why? And is it further evidence that possibly in a couple years they'll have to get so many people off of Earth that they need to go at this scale? Now, you have to look at it, I guess, from kind of all of the things that I've talked about as far as why are we going to Mars? Why are all these countries backing it? Why are we storing samples in mountains? And why are we sending Noah's Arks to the moon? As far as, we're talking about seeds, everything. Why are they preparing like it's the end of the world if it's not the end of the world. Now, again, people say it's sensational or whatever, but it's like, look at what just happened. When I said that I believed that there would be a pandemic 4 months before it happened, everybody said that that was sensational. I showed them the actual WHO documents saying that we would have a pandemic. I also showed all of these graphs and stats of how they thought the next thing would affect the global economy. And then it happened. So, people want to talk smack, but they give us all of the information you need in all of this info, and you have to just pull out you have to put everything together by yourself. They're not going to do it and hand it to you. They give you little clues here and there. I firmly believe that they have found something that is heading towards us. Some people say it's a planet. They just said the other day, which is absolutely insane, oh yeah, there's a planet-sized object coming our way. It's a comet though, right? It's a planet, small planet-size object. But yeah, of course, nothing's going to happen. Now, even if you don't believe in space or you believe in the other way, I would ask you then, what are they preparing us for? That's again, it doesn't matter. We could debate all day, but what is the setup for? I think that this is very clear. By the way, if you're just basing it off this, you wouldn't get it. But if for the people that watch my show all the time, you've seen all of the pieces that we've put together, and they are solid pieces. We're talking about just one thing after another, showing you that the world is preparing for everything in space. So why? I mean, we're talking about getting up there in just a couple years. What is the hurry? Things like this. I mean, I can think of building repairs that would take longer to get approved. They're talking about going to Mars, and it's not just Elon Musk and his thing. Why would he be doing this? Why would he be spending these millions, trillions of dollars, whatever it may be? Why is Jeff Bezos getting into it? Why is Virgin Atlantic? Why are the richest people in the world, all building these space companies? Unless they see the future in space. It doesn't make any sense. As humans that have never seen space, and as humans that, they say a tiny, 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 tiny percent have gone to space, and some of us don't even believe they've gone, it's hard for us to even imagine an economy or a future that is, half or entirely in space. But I have a feeling that they do. And that's why these elites are making Asgardia and all of these other things. They're actually making a government in space. And the people that are joining it are not just average Joes. Not at the ground level where you sign up to be an Asgardian and get a little plaque saying, I'm a citizen of space. I'm talking about the people that are really dealing with Congress and courts and Supreme Courts, and these people that their names are not listed because they're billionaires or trillionaires that are above Jeff Bezos and all these people that they're so rich they don't get mentioned. They're so rich that the news dare not say their name. They're on the Builder and the Berg list, but they don't ever appear publicly because they're private. They can pay for their privacy. They can pay for secrecy. That's the thing. People see the richest people in the world. Those are the richest people in the world that we know about. I'm sure some of the, of course, Rockefellers or some of that family. You're talking about families that have had old money. I mean, we're talking old money. So what is the deal with this? Why do they need a rocket the size of the Statue of Liberty? It just makes me think of the hundreds of articles of these objects the size of it. I would think that you would need a kinetic impactor that is just as big as the object you're hitting. Or this is for, they're eventually going to have a rocket this size so they can actually lift, multiple passengers like Elon Musk says he is. He wants to get 100 people per ship or something, or Dex, do you remember how many people he said he was going to get on these ships? In the future, he had kind of a breakdown of what he would like to be at. And I swear it was like 100 people per trip, and then do trips like every day. And this is, again, like his crazy plans, right?
Yeah, I don't know the exact number, but yeah, absolutely. The plan is to get as many people on as possible and start to grow this as a form of transportation, right?
And we've covered that they say by 2026 they'll have the first space hotel in low Earth orbit. Who knows? Again, if you don't believe it, I don't blame you. Put your opinions down below. I just think it's for anybody that's new here, I think it's pretty just useless to argue about it. I think a lot of people spend so much time online arguing with people about what shape this is, shape that, when, again, if you haven't been to space, I haven't been to space, we can do all the math problems we want, but until everybody starts regularly going up there, there's going to be a debate there. And then Lee Attaway, thank you so much for subscribing. I appreciate you. Stephen Woodham, thank you for subscribing as well. I appreciate each and every one of you that is popping in here right now. Again, there's a lot of you already. Thank you, and thank you. Over on DLive, we have people popping in already. Thank you so much. Queen BTP drops in, says, love and thanks for all you do. Keep me informed. You guys rock. Well, thank you, Queen BTP. D Frustrated says, this will be biblical and the rats are terrified. D Frustrated says, pray now and give it all to God. Thank you, Jesus. End times. What is going on? Hey, it's nice to see you here. Recalcitrant. I love Chihuahuas. Penny Lane 87. Love it. And then Sandra in Texas is here, of course. We've got Kishara, says, time is illusion, science says, by our brains. Funny factoid is they say that time goes faster the closer you are to the ground. Look it up. It's actually, that's what they say, at least. The atomic clock, they say if you measured it closer to the ground, because of the gravity or something, that it actually goes faster or slower. One of the two. You can look it up and put it in chat. Captain Pat, Pam Beth, and Honda 2005. Love it. Sassy Lass and Dab 36. Vol 111. It's nice to see you here again. So as far as that goes, you guys know my opinion. And then 65% of Americans believe in aliens, new poll finds. Now, I would be very interested in what the world polls would be. Because I know that, a lot of our viewers are in the UK or Australia. Do most people, believe? I would love to see, they always do this exact poll with Americans, and most Americans actually believe. This is lower than the last time I saw one of these polls. I would like to see what countries believe and what countries don't, because I think that would be very telling. It says that 51% of Americans believe UFOs reported by military personnel are likely evidence of intelligent alien life, according to a new poll released by Pew last week. By Pew? That's hilarious. It says, why it matters. Questions about whether smart aliens have come to visit Earth have been asked for decades, and these results show that curiosity. It says, which sometimes verge into conspiracy theory, persists. It says what they found, the new poll surveyed 10,417 U.S. adults in June ahead of the release of the UFO report mandated by Congress and made public at the end of June. About 65% of the respondents said that they think there is intelligent life on planets other than Earth, and about 87% said that UFOs aren't a security threat to the U.S. at all, or represent a minor one, Pew found. According to the poll, only 12% of American adults had heard or read a lot about the UFO report before its release. So one question I have about these kind of polls is, who are they doing them to? Because I've had more people vote on my community post. This is 10,000 people. I did a vote of 1,000 people, and you can get a rough estimate of kind of a broad audience. If I ask my audience, I bet you 98% of them will say. So my question is, and that's because they're all my subscribers, right? How do they pick these people? Because I think it's actually more than 65%. What do you guys think? Do you think that actually more people believe in this or less? It says, quote, some segments of the public are now more likely than others to believe that intelligent life exists on other planets. This view is especially pronounced among younger Americans. About 3/4 or 76% of adults under age 30 say intelligent life exists on other planets, versus 57% of those 50 and older. So the younger they are, the more they believe. Seems like with all the propaganda and stuff that kids are getting taught in school, and now that it's respectable for somebody at Harvard to say there's aliens, seems like that could also be a long-term kind of mission. Remember what Reagan said, right? Who knows? Will they have some sort of false alien invasion? I don't know. What do you think? And then full Pentagon UFO report details U.S. tests of alien propulsion tech at Area 51, historian claims. Dex, do you want to pop in on this one? Because I know that you looked pretty deep into this.
Well, yeah, so we have yet another claim coming out, and this one is specifically saying from an unverified source that they have access, and this is, by the way, it's coming from Sputnik. At least that's who's reporting it. But the person here, Richard Dolan, is an American historian who specializes in UFO research, says that he has a source who gave him insight on the report that is not the one we saw. We saw this redacted summary that didn't even have much information in it. But that this one said that they claim that they actually did testing on UFO material and UFO flight capabilities out of Area 51, which is what we've heard. We've heard this in the movies. We've speculated about this. Other people have left, and said that they've broken classified rules to talk about these things, but nobody really believed them because they just called them a bunch of quacks, right? So this story is not new in the sense that we've heard it before, but it's new in the sense that they're coming out and saying, hey, this is in that report. It hasn't been published, and it is there, and it's going to, I guess if it ever does see the light of day, or if it ever gets out, then it will become widely known.
Well, as far as I don't understand, so the redacted parts, or even this preliminary one that, everybody thought was the actual thing, I thought that we were going to get something better than this. It was just a big pile of warm, just rewrote BS. In fact, I tweeted that I think that they should show that to college students that, well, I guess they shouldn't teach this, but I don't know if you remember in school when you tried to make at max a 1-page paper and fill it with so much filler that you could get the 5-page minimum or the 10-page minimum, where you use, whatever grammar you could to say the same thing 10 times. That's exactly what they did. Do any of you feel like that report kind of gave us any kind of closure? Does anybody feel like that was even worth it? Why was that put into the CV relief bill out of all the things? Why did they push for that as kind of a negotiator for this relief bill? Why did that even get put in there?
And let's keep in mind what we showed on the show and what they gave to us, the public, wasn't even the report. It was a summary of the report. And the actual report that went to Congress, even that report, it was only given to certain Congress members, and they had to be briefed by the Pentagon. And that report even was heavily redacted that they got to see, that we've never seen.
See, I didn't think they could. I didn't think that they were allowed to even redact anything in that report. Why even put it out if you're going to redact it? I thought it was supposed to be fully unclassified. Then what the hell is the point about this redaction? That's not unclassifying the whole report. It doesn't make any sense. So a lot of people are scratching their heads right now saying, why did they do this? Like, Dex, it doesn't make any sense. And of course, this is part of a bigger operation. This is some sort of psyop. Why would it even exist? It obviously was meant to distract people. It meant, and trust me, that little of a thing, which, it says that 12% of these people didn't even know about this. I guarantee you those 12% heard friends talking about it, just didn't take the time to look at it. For the people that dig, those are the people, the majority of the people that dig into things, they were the ones who were all excited about this. I just really think it's like they target certain audiences and they know who's digging into things, who's going down those rabbit holes, and then who is not. And when they need a certain audience to do something, they'll release something that's related and totally, just say, hey, look over here. Something else bigger is going on. Obviously, most of you guys already know this. So, I don't know, Dex. I think it's extremely strange.
Yeah, I agree too. There was no reason to do this without there being a prescription behind it. Like, what were they trying to accomplish, right? And they didn't accomplish it yet, so something's coming.
Actual Earther says, I like this channel. Hey, thank you. I appreciate that. We work really hard to do this, and it is really awesome to see a new name here and somebody who does appreciate it. I know that all of the Foogle fam does, and I really appreciate all of you as well. Donovan Baker, thank you for subscribing just now. Crystal Coakley, appreciate you as well. Lots of nice people. Bex, with a B, says, wake up. Yeah, a lot of people need to wake up. Real disclosure is more than just UFOs. Backass words, weird world is completely right on that. They accomplished wasting money, says Flip Flop Joe. Nice name there. Jack Valdez, yep, NWO. And then we've got Far Superior than F-18, Her Wolf. And then Bear Lover says, they haven't distracted me from anything. Yes, a lot of us are still looking. That's why I said, always look at what's on their back burner, because that's what's really going on. Speaking of back burner, we actually put the Mission America sale off, so we did get them to at least extend it for now. We don't know when they're going to end it, because I didn't get a hold of Andrew, but I do know they must have got our message, because they are still running it. Again, I missed a weekend, so I didn't get to tell you guys about this, but there's an additional $30 off on all EMP devices, and that is in addition to our $50 off. If you don't know what EMP Shield is, again, this is a device that is not only going to protect you against all phases of an EMP, E1, E2, and E3, but it can also protect you against the natural kind, the solar flares, and it can protect your house, your generator, or any device like solar system, your car, your motorcycle, from lightning. So again, this is what governments are using. They are actually contracted with agencies like DHS, DOD, and now the DEMSO team with the Texas grid, trying to protect those guys. So you can get the same kind of protection for your personal self through this. In fact, you will get a huge discount that is on top of our grandfathered in $50 on each device. So make sure to go over there. Mission America is still running. I don't know if they're going to end it at midnight. I don't know if they're going to end it in 2 days. It was supposed to go until the 4th. So whether it's a mistake or not, I don't know. But I would highly recommend getting it while it's still on sale. Again, you want to have your car run after an EMP. Well, that's why you need one. marfugglenews.com/EMP. That's again, marfugglenews.com/EMP. Get in there. Don't regret it. All right. And then, Dex, this next one, fallout continues from the biggest global ransomware attack. We talked about all of these different attacks, and if you're new here, you might not know. There have been more ransomware attacks in the last year than we've had at least publicly. Now we are starting to see the results, possibly of SolarWinds. I'm not too sure, but we have basically found out through official sources that all of these companies are getting hacked, and most of them you don't even hear about because they pay the ransom. We're talking about the biggest companies in the world. We're talking about gas pipelines, infrastructure, meat packing companies that supply meat to the whole world. This is a huge deal. So, Dex, do you want to talk about this? Because I know that you're a tech expert here.
So what's going on? This is one of the biggest, and this is not like the biggest hack in the sense of, where SolarWinds opened up all these back doors and everybody's in these back doors. This is a big attack in the sense that they have crippled a lot of businesses, or at least put them in a position where they feel they can't operate or they can't do anything unless they pay, the fee to unlock the keys that have basically, enshrouded all of their data. So this has gone across multiple countries. And for example, and here's the thing, a lot of companies won't announce this. A lot of companies won't ever say anything about it. They may pay or they may not. They may find workarounds. They may go to backups. they may just have to deal with the consequences and get things back up and running. So we don't really know how many people are affected, but they've estimated it's a lot of companies and countries around the world. And one of them that has been outspoken was Sweden. And they have actually come out and said that they were hit pretty hard, and most of their transportation, I think the defense minister said that they had lost, a gas station chain, a pharmacy chain, a state-run railway, public broadcastings. All of those were shut down, and they're still shut down, Monday or Tuesday. So because they're trying to figure out how they're going to recover, either they're going to pay the bill or they're not. Now, these ransomware people have asked for, in some cases, they were asking $5 million or approximately around that amount to anybody that was hit individually. But then they also came out and said, hey, we'll take $70 million and we'll put out, the key that'll fix everyone that got hit by this. So they were hoping that somebody's willing to pay a big $70 million check, or it should be a Bitcoin, as they're asking for it in. So that's the current state. There's lots going on. Of course, there's a lot of controversy as to who's behind it. A lot of the stuff has said it's Russian organization, whether or not it's state run or just in the country is part of the controversy that's going on right now, and including with our own administration trying to figure out that.
Well, and so as far as the ransomware attacks, we actually saw a couple instances where we saw these huge companies get hit and then instantly it was fixed. It's like that's most likely an issue where you had them pay that. Then we found stories of course, the authorities tracking down some of what they gave the crooks. In fact, in one case, I forget what company that was, they got about half of the I think it was half of $5 million, so it was like $2.2 million. They actually got that back, which kind of makes you think, like, how did they track that Bitcoin down and then get it back? Apparently, they went through one of the wallets, and then the wallet was able to get it back. So I don't know if this is going to change as far as some of these companies know that they might get hit. What is so crazy is that all of these companies have a backdoor open now. If you didn't know it, the SolarWinds opened a lot of these. I do you think that somehow they're accessing the SolarWinds?
It certainly could have left a lot of that was a giant door basically that these hackers could have come in, and when they came in, they were coming in unknown, and they could have also created a lot of other doors that they left hidden so that they could use them at a later time. And that could be what we're seeing here, is that they went through and they created these doors. That they could cut, these back doors that they could come in later. But here's a good example of what the type of scale this is. So, when these big companies get hit with an attack like this, they usually get involved with the FBI and the other parts of our organization, and they respond. They come and help, right? The FBI put out a statement that said they're investigating this, but its scale is so big that they're not even able to respond to each of the victims because there's so many of them.
And these are huge companies, so they're not even getting back to some of these people. And remember, SolarWinds, to somebody who is new, this was a company that actually, Dex, could you explain? They were a security company in themselves.
So SolarWinds was basically this technology you would put in your network, and it helped do different things in your network. And the bad guys had basically infiltrated their product. And because so many people use SolarWinds in all of their networks, as soon as they started upgrading to the latest version that had that hack in it, everybody was compromised. Now, that type of hack is different. That's like a vulnerability where they're wide open to other things that can happen, where a ransomware attack is totally different. It's sort of like somebody coming in and stealing all your money and throwing it in a giant vault in your front yard and saying, I'll give you the combination to unlock it, all of your personal possessions, for a fee, right? And it's not the same as, say, somebody who just copies the keys to your front door so they can come and go as they please, right? So two different types of hacks.
But here's the thing. So I think that in ways, SolarWinds, they had access for months and months and months I think that they may have made all of these additional backdoors because they accessed the Pentagon. They accessed, of course, all 5 military branches were compromised. You had all of the Fortune 500 companies that were using SolarWinds. So you had your Targets, your Fred Meyers, you had your Walmarts, your Costco's, all of these different companies that may have been affected. Pretty much anybody that used SolarWinds had this open back door. So they could have went in and changed things and silently or quietly changed things. So then later they could come in, this small group or big group or whoever, Russia or CIA or whoever the hell is really doing it. They could come in later and then fool around and then do this different kind of attack. I don't know. Either way, before SolarWinds, we didn't see news on this. Now we're seeing it every single week. And now we're seeing it all over the world, which says to me that this was something that was stemming from that. There was a lot of weird stuff. Was it Tennessee that we had this explosion with AT&T, with the RV? I believe that
yes.
That may have played a part in it. And we know some stuff that we can't say. Basically, I think something went missing. So I think that there's some really, really, really crazy stuff going on here, and this isn't where it ends. I think that some of my peers that are saying, that there is going to be a lights out situation. I think that if we don't have an EMP or if we don't have something huge, I think that we will have smaller scale or even massive scale lights out situations just from hacks. I don't know what is actually going to happen here, but I think that everybody needs to prepare. You guys need to drill. I was just talking with my friend, my adult friend Jack, and I talked to Jack and I said, hey, his family's finally starting to think about this kind of stuff. You have to actually do drills. You have to get together. You have to think about it. If your wife is at work and you're at home, or your kid's at school and everybody's separated, where are you guys going to meet? Especially think about to add in things like, what if the power is not there? What if there is no power? What if you don't have a car? What if you have to walk? How are you going to walk there? Oh, well, the freeway's shut down. Or if you have a car, how are you going to get there if everything is stopped? Same thing with any earthquake or tornado. Once the big 9.0 hits the northwest, the Cascadia subduction zone, all of the overpasses over I-5 are going to be collapsed onto the road. So there will be no I-5. There will be no out-of-state help, none of that. It's like, why aren't people preparing for their local and regional stuff on top of this? So this is why we push for people to get prepared in general, because even if you don't have an EMP, or if you don't have an asteroid, or you don't have an end-of-the-world crazy scenario out of the movies, you could have something normal. And I think a lights out situation could be so much, so minimized if you have prepared for it. That's the thing. If everybody in the world prepared for a disaster, when it happens, there wouldn't be this craziness. There wouldn't be 90% of the killing and craziness because people are basically so desperate. That's why we all need to push this message of just be prepared for anything. If you have extra stuff, that's great. There's no downside to it. As long as you don't go crazy and sell your house and go, take all your money and put it in food and then be living in a car with, 10 years of food, then, it should be something that everybody does. I don't know why people don't. It says that the White House won't say that Russia is behind ransomware attack. Dex, I thought they were all about saying that, Russia was behind it. Now they're reversing it, or what's going on with this?
Yeah, they keep going. Like I said, it's kind of I think what they're trying to do is split hairs as to whether or not it's a Russian organization or if it's a Russian government, right? Like government sponsored. And if you recall, we talked a little bit about this. They're trying to get, a lot of countries have gotten together to try to create a pact that says, hey, we're going to hold countries responsible for these hackers if they are even in their country, not even if they're sponsored. Obviously, if they're sponsored by the government, then the government's responsible for them. But if they're not sponsored by the government, they're just there. they still want to hold those countries responsible. So I think that's sort of the gray area here right now, is whether or not this is an independent group that happens to be in Russia, or if it's actually Russian funded by the government.
It's insanity. I want to say a big thank you. Remember, the idiots pushing the JAB are the same ones who over-engineered the safety gas can. Marf and Dex rock. That is so hilarious. Mama Dean said that, and over-engineered the safety gas can. I'm pretty sure that's the kind of gas can that is the most annoying thing in the world to try to use. I totally see that. And then Lily's mom. Can I get an A in the chat for Anna? Thank you so much for your support. Says great job. With a great super chat. That's absolutely unbelievable. Thank you so much. Thank you, Lily's mom. Make sure to put an A in the chat. And then Eric W. says, does anyone have a pre-1958 encyclopedia? Supposedly, it mentions the dome at 13,000 feet in Antarctica. Please help me confirm this, Marv. So Eric W. is saying that pre-1958 encyclopedia may have mentioned that there's a dome at 13,000 feet in Antarctica. I don't know. That's crazy. I would love to see that. And then Lisa Marie S. says, I retired a Russian intel gathering person in the military. Tried calling in. It runs much deeper than you know. So Lisa Marie S., are you saying that you are a retired, I believe you said, a Russian intel gathering person? I wonder if there's another name for that. In the military, tried calling it runs much deeper than you know. Lisa Marie, again, on our late shows, we would normally be doing calls right now, but we did not. Again, it's 9 o'clock, so midnight o'clock. I'm not even talking right. Because of my kids, I ended up starting the show late. I'll just be honest with you guys, and it is just run too late if we did calls. I don't know, Dex, did we try to put on the calls? I know that we were going to try to get a couple people in, but... Yeah,
I've got a couple, and that's it.
Okay. But we can get you in next show, Lisa, if you would like to get in. And then Chinese state media publishes 3-stage battle plan for Taiwan. It says... Now, this is crazy. It says Chinese state media publishes 3-stage battle plan for Taiwan invasion as President Xi calls for complete reunification. And they use that picture. That is one hell of a scary picture. Especially this dude, like he was on another level. Like this guy's crazy, but this guy, he was like, I'm Sanduku eyes in this MFer. And what are these two looking at? It's like they're specifically pointing at somebody. They're like, I'm going to mess you up. Or this is just weird. This is so weird. So are the side guys looking this way and everybody else is looking this way? This is terrifying. I could look at this picture all day. Like, what is wrong? This is insanity.
And then the Joker in the crowd kicks his buddy to the side, who falls backwards and gets... lanced in the back by one of those bayonets, right?
Dude, you would think that they would have those up, right? What if you trip? I wonder how many deaths a year happen from, like, just simple mistakes. That's insane. Sorry, that just totally got me off guard. It says, this report comes after China President Xi Jinping pledged complete reunification with Taiwan as he marked the centenary of the Chinese Communist Party. It says, quote, stage 1 of this plan would involve the attack of key installations with DF-16 short-range ballistic missiles used to attack airports, early warning radar, anti-air missile bases, and command centers. According to the article, the attacks against Taiwan's airports would continue until Chinese surface troops had accomplished an assault landing. Island hopping. It says stage 2 would involve various cruise missile strikes against other targets. YJ-91 and CJ-10 cruise missiles would be fired from both land and sea against military bases. ammunition depots, communications infrastructure, and key road junctions. It says drones would then be used to assess the scale of subsequent damage. Stage 3 would involve further bombardment from Navy vessels to prepare for an amphibious beach landing of infantry and other military units. It says, as the U.S. Sun noted, this is the second time the publication has outlined a scenario for an attack on Taiwan. Last year, it detailed how an assault on the island's defense systems could occur to coincide with the start of the independence-leaning President Tsai Ing-wen's second term, the outlet added. Dex, can you see when the second term starts, by the way? Can we figure out the timing on that?
Yeah, let me see what I can find.
And then resolving the Taiwan question and realizing China's complete reunification is a historic mission and an unshakable commitment to the Communist Party of China. Xi said during his speech celebrating the 100-year anniversary of the Chinese Party, we must take resolute action to utterly defeat any attempt towards Taiwan independence and work together to create a bright future for national rejuvenation. No one should underestimate the resolve, the will, and the ability of the Chinese people to defend their national sovereignty and territorial integrity. He is saying they're going to take this no matter what the world says, and he will not say that he's the leader for the rest of his life. He believes in the heavenly mandate, which the heavenly mandate, basically the Chinese culture says that China should be number one. There is no other option. China will be number one on the planet. That is their heavenly mandate. It's part of their culture, their religion, for those who believe it. And that can even change if the culture and the people do not believe that leader is doing a good job. They will say, "Oh, he's lost the heavenly mandate. He should be replaced. He should not be our leader. He's lost it." They can actually believe this. If there is natural disasters, they can say that that's a sign that the president has lost this. Well, there's been a lot of natural disasters, and all over Weibo and WeChat, their social media, which is completely monitored, and it's how they track their people. In fact, it's kind of required. Their people are basically stating that they think that he has lost the heavenly mandate, and that drove Xi crazy. There are insiders that say Xi is basically, pissed off that he's losing grasp on his people, even though they're forced to it. He doesn't want them forced to think that he has this heavenly mandate. So he is going to do whatever he can within his term, which he's made his term the rest of his life, to be number one and to take that. In fact, if you look at Xi's parents and how he was brought up, the heavenly mandate was number one. I'm digging deeper into all of this stuff with Xi and his parents and his family. So this is a big thing. Personally, to him, he really, truly believes this. Anybody he's ever talked about, the insiders have talked to him, say this is his number one goal. He needs to be number one in the world. And to be number one in the world, Taiwan is just a small step of that. But it's also reunifying, and again, it's like that's part of their wording of here, reunifying.
For reference, Adam, Taiwan's President Tsai Ing-wen took her oath for the second 4-year term last May.
So they said it would be around them taking the second term, or within
that was
their
their first threat, right? They were going to do it around that time, which was last May.
And now, since last May, they have created a full size, and this is new. They put it up in like no time. A full size replica of Taiwan, of the main area where all of the, of course, president and all that whole Cap Atoll area, they have actually replicated, and they're training on taking it over. I told you that this would be the amphibious stuff. We've been following this. Everybody, including the U.S., is ordering these amphibious trucks. We showed you when we actually had callers. We had Foogle Fam give us the orders before they reported it, that a local Northwest company got this giant order out of nowhere. They just got hit in the side of the head, and they're like, hey, we need all of these amphibious vehicles now. Hundreds of them. And of course, that contract went to a local company. Raytheon is producing missiles unheard of scale. We're talking about every minute and a half, Raytheon is making a missile, to the point where their parking lot is so full. But wait, we're not in a conflict. We're pulling our people out of Afghanistan. Then why do we need all this? Why is the Chinese Navy growing so fast that, oh wait, it surpassed us by 100 ships? It was the second or third largest just a few years ago, and within literally a tiny percentage of time, like 2 or 3 years, all of a sudden they haven't only outgrew us, but now they are the largest by over 100 ships. Oh yeah, and they're mass producing jets, they're mass producing tanks, they're mass producing ground weapons. What do you think it's all for? Do you think it's so they can be the largest and the most powerful and be number 2? Their way of life is it doesn't mix with the current USA, UK kind of democracy. So we're gonna see some pretty fun stuff going down here. And then we have Raab. UK ships to continue to sail waters near Crimea after HMS Defender incident. If you don't follow this, or if you didn't follow our previous coverage of this, a UK Navy, Royal Navy ship went through. They had a altercation with a Russian ship. The Russian ship and jets started just going right at this HMS Defender, very advanced Royal Navy ship, one of the newer, extremely advanced destroyers. I want to say it's like an Arleigh Burke class, like in our terms, destroyer. Chased this thing out, went at it. They had exchange of words. The HMS Royal Navy said, hey, are you guys threatening us? Like, this is dangerous. They had jets fly over them, and they even did 3 shots over their bow and in front of them. They said, basically, if they come back to these waters, they will drop booms on their ships. They said, next time, it won't be a warning. They're saying, we're going to sail through that exact same area, and you're not going to do anything about it. It says the HMS Defender was taking the shortest and most direct route. It was an internationally recognized traffic route. We've got every right to conduct innocent passage through Ukrainian territorial waters, according to international law, and that's what we'll continue to do, Raab told the parliamentary committee. For its part, the UK Defense Ministry said that the destroyer was en route from Ukraine's Odessa to Georgia, and there was no warning shots at all. According to the footage published by the Russian security service FSB, the ship ignored warnings about the use of weapons and only left the waters near Crimea after warning shots. The warship entered that Moscow considers a Russian maritime area near Cape Violent or Fiumland in Crimea on 23rd of June. The Russian Navy had to fire warning shots to divert the vessels. Now remember, they said no warning shots were fired. This is the HMS and the Royal Navy doing a formal statement, which we believe they're actually lying or trying to cover this up, because there was an actual BBS reporter on that ship who was scared to death and said that not only were they trailing them with up to 20 aircraft, but they did fire the shots. And this is a BBC reporter doing some side work, doing some stupid report. So who do you believe? The video showing them doing warning shots, or the HMS saying that they didn't? I don't know what happened, but again, it seems like they're are they purposely taking this route, or are they actually proving that this is international law and are Russia overreacting and saying that they shouldn't travel here when they have no right to say so? What is your thoughts on this? I would love to hear your opinion. On another note, Dex, can you tell them why they should have a VPN? We're going to show you Nord. Again, Nord is our other affiliate that we think that everyone should have. Dex, can you explain what a
absolutely.
VPN is?
So a virtual private network helps hide your IP address from the bad guys. So if you're using a public Wi-Fi or even using your Wi-Fi, having this secure connection to the rest of the internet can help eliminate the ability for someone to hack into your internet connection that you're using. So it helps protect you. It adds an additional layer of security. It also gives you the ability to basically put yourself in another location. So if somebody does try to find where you are, they'll never know, because you may be in another state, or you could literally be in another country, maybe accessing content that's restricted, or getting around firewalls that your country or the powers that be that rule you may not want you to see. And you can use these types of tools like a VPN to get around that. So NordVPN is one of the easiest out there. It's literally like a light switch. You turn it on, you turn it off. You can install it on your phone, your computer. You can run it on up to 6 devices at one time, and you can get your kids on it too. So go check it out. It helps the channel, and it's a great discount for you as well. Just go to marfuglenews.com/VPN.
Thank you, Dex. Again, that helps us. We are truly independent. We do not have a multi-channel network. We don't have a multi-million-dollar company behind us. We are us. So thank you. We have the mods helping the chat, and it's Dex and I doing the news. So thank you very much. We would love for it to be a bigger family one day. Eric W. says, again, the encyclopedia thing, I don't know. But you have actually intrigued me, and I'm very interested. Lisa Marie S. previously said, I retired a Russian intel gathering person in the military. I said, what wasn't actually? And Lisa Marie then said, Russian cryptologic linguist. I'm sure you've basically had to dumb it down to tell people what you did. I get why more people wouldn't know what the heck that is. Lisa Marie, very interesting. I would love to get you on the show if possible. On the next show. Stephen McMahon says, prayers for your little ones, Adam. Thank you, Stephen McMahon. I really do appreciate that. I am seriously asking for it. I 100% believe prayers help. I believe that I've seen miracles happen, so I really appreciate that. Have you ever thought about if you've ever asked for prayers, if it matters, if they know their name? Because I even thought about it. I'm like, I don't really love giving out the names, but I think it matters. But Violet and Jack, if you guys can pray for Violet and Jack, our 2 little ones. I think about that kind of stuff. Isn't that weird? And I even think my brain thinks is that meaning that I don't have faith that, God would know who they're praying for? I've always been, I've always thought that was weird. Like if you're praying for somebody, but you don't know their name, does it get to the right place? Sounds silly, right? Kara Fusilier says, my old man Joey Miller is awesome. JR says, Marf at Eric 1979 Collier Encyclopedia number 19, listed under polar regions, pages 200 through 208, regarding Antarctica, and circle page 204, notes Navy's deep freeze. So, JR, I guess, are you saying that you have one of these old encyclopedias? And does it say that? That's crazy. Judy Sturlogson, thank you so much for your support. And again, thank you, Anna, Lily's mom. I appreciate your support. Thank you so much. Over on DLive, we have a whole grip of awesome people. Defrustrated says, God wins. We've got Vault111 says, press 1 if you love Marf, Dex, and all mods. Thank you, Jacktronics. Truth wins. The truth is out here, is here again. Thank you again for showing up. Heaven's Calling. And we have Gem, Island by the Sea, Snowboard, and I Love Jesus Forever is here. We've got Susan Big, Stratosphere, Kalizzi, Deep State of Mind, all sorts of great people. Ignatius Norever, thank you for popping in. I guess somebody gifted you a badge there. A Yakstar says, so glad to catch it live. And then End Times, Red Butterfly, all sorts of great people. Queen BTP, thank you for the Ninja Guinea. Thank you so much. All right. Dex, the next one, I need you, because you have a better geography here. Basically, Oakland is across from this other stuff that's going on. It basically says that Oakland streets erupt into 12 hours of nonstop chaos, homicides, shootings, and sideshow violence. So what the hell happened here?
Well, apparently there was just a lot of chaos in Oakland, and if you're not familiar, there's another story that goes along with this, and anybody can go look it up about what was going on in San Francisco, which is literally right across the bay. There was a lot of looting of a couple of stores, and it's not just a one event. It's the fact that this stuff has been building up over time. I think a lot of stores have actually started to close down. They've limited their hours because things are just getting a little out of hand in that part of the world. And Oakland's across the bridge, San Francisco's on the other side, and they both seem to be having problems, and they seem to be heading in a direction of a lot of high crime. And you can see here in this specific story about what happened during the 4th of Independence Day time period, that it was just 12 hours of chaos, as they really refer to it as, this reporter does. So kind of crazy to think about, kind of crazy times to be living in. I know we've seen this type of stuff when there's a march or a specific call to action or something, but this is sort of like just amping up around general terms of crime and violence, right?
And anyone in Cali, I got several messages about this. If you have video of that night, please let me know. If you were out and about and you kind of witnessed part of this, send it to us. Go to our website, marfooglenews.com. Remember, you can get to anything you see here on the show. But again, on the top, you have this tab. It says Play My Video. It's up here once you go up there. When you click that, you can submit a video, and we will show it on the show. We end up getting anywhere from 60,000 to 100,000 people watching every show, so you can get it out there. And then this tab, all of these bars up here, you can get to all of our videos. You can even search. So if you want to look up, San Francisco, it will actually show you all of the shows that we've talked about. Then you can actually reference it. Isn't this crazy? No crystal ball necessary. Then you can go into these shows and then check this out. So why did we talk about San Francisco and no crystal ball necessary? Well, watch this. You click this and all of the news is archived. So then, boom, look at this. You've got the stories that you just searched. Russia claims national simulated a cyber attack that brought down utilities. This is how we put all the pieces together. This is if we don't take this. Some people say like mainstream media is some have even said, Marf just covers mainstream media. You know why? Because mainstream media is, if you put all of the stories that put together and you go back, you will see that they've told us everything before it happens. Everything. They've given us, it's like predictive programming, only it's in written form. These news articles, you put enough of them put together and you start watching the pattern, you see the future. We can look at any major event that's happened and we can go back and look, and they've told us it was going to happen. I almost guarantee it. So remember to use this website. This is why we started doing this, because we saw the pattern. We're seeing it now, and what is happening next is not good. I hope people share this out with family. I hope you guys can help us with the algorithm. Push that like button, comment down below. I appreciate it. Dex appreciates it. Thank you. As far as this goes, some of the quotes says, if you look at the shoot period of 6 hours with 6 bangings, that requires a lot of resources. So you had to have, if anybody perished, you have to have detectives, homicide people, all that at 6 different locations in 6 hours. This was 12 hours of nonstop chaos. He quoted, "This is one of the most violent 4th of Julys I can remember." Well, celebratory gunfire was the hallmark of New Year's Eve and July 4th for years. Armstrong said it reeled completely out of control on Sunday. The level of violence is far too high, he said. Our officers were stretched and did the best we could. We are dealing with challenges. Celebratory fire led to the vast majority of these shootings and injuring others. The last 24 hours has been very difficult for the city of Oakland. So Oakland already has gang problems. They already have tons of stuff going on, but that 4th of July apparently was insane. I saw it on Twitter. I saw it in my email box. everybody was saying that this area was absolutely nuts. It was not safe to be out in some parts, which, it's normally bad, but we're talking about holiday when everybody's supposed to be happy.
Have you ever heard of them running out of ambulances?
No.
I mean, that's what it says. At one point, there was no ambulances available to help treated or injured. Help treat the injured. I mean, a city like Oakland, that's huge. It's a big town. I mean, there's a lot of money out there too.
It says that just goes to show you the level of violence that we were managing, that we didn't have ambulances available to help to come and provide medical support. It was taking them a significant amount of time to get there. So you're talking about like, oh, the dumpster's full. We got to go to the dump and dump it first. Only this is ambulances. They had to bring the patient to the hospital, then come back. That same ambulance that was right down the block then has to go do a trip before it even picks up the people. People most likely perished because of it. Speaking of which, oh man, there is just there are so many things that are going on right now since CV started. We had a friend, if you remember, I went to a funeral and a life celebration not too long ago. One of our friends was stabbed in the chest in the Seattle area. And there were, I want to say 16 people stabbed in that weekend. Or I'm sorry, killed, taken out, perished forcefully in that same weekend period. So the weekend that he was taken out, there was even somebody who took him to the hospital that kind of knew what happened. We basically know who did it, but they won't do anything about it. So I just want to set you up. I'm going to tell you that in the future, we're going to try to gather our resources and try to figure something out, but I might ask you guys to help us with that. How this ties in is that there's so little effort being put into this case. Our friend's mother has no answers. No one's been arrested, even though they believe the police know who it is, and they said, well, that person has lawyered up, so we can't do anything without proper evidence. We can't really do anything, and they still haven't even done anything. If he didn't have a lawyer, they would have already gone in and done what they did. And this is a scumbag, by the way. So I might ask for your help. I'm just setting you up. I might even mention it a couple times because eventually I might need help putting pressure on the local, prosecutor, I guess. We're looking into that and how to best do it. But there is somebody who passed away, who was taken away at the age of, I think it was 24, and no answers. And they know who did it. But that's how stretched thin these guys are. So this is why everybody also needs to get self-defense training. You need to get yourself prepared mentally and physically for everything. If not, protect yourself with something else. I firmly believe that everybody has the right to protect themselves from something that, hits you in the side of the head. So, crazy video shows Vladimir Putin's war dogs parachute into battle from 13,000 feet strapped to Russian soldiers. Only in Russia, Dex. What are we...
Yeah, I was just like, have you ever heard of a paratrooping dog? No. I haven't, but only in Russia.
In Russia, these badasses drop in with Fidos attached to them. I wonder if, here I would think that, by the way, this makes it look like this guy is just extremely long, or that he's giving birth to another parachuter. But this is a German Shepherd strapped onto him, and apparently they're putting the muzzle. I would think that, how do you test this? Obviously, you would have to put a muzzle on because I think that dog would be freaked the hell out. Are these dogs used to this? I'm sure if this was here, that, PETA would get involved and say that it's cruel or something. But I would assume if the dog got used to it, it might even be fun for the dog. But that is freaky. What do you guys think about this? This is like nuts. Imagine not only a Russian soldier dropping in, paratrooping in, it's an invasion, but they also have a freaking German Shepherd, a trained German Shepherd. That's pretty, I have to say it. That's pretty badass. That's scary. And then here's another shot, of course, of them safely landing with Fido there, or K9. So, yeah. Aunt Jenny says, thanks to you and Dex for all you do. Linda C., thank you for your support. You can always write something there. It's always appreciated when you do that to say something, say a statement, or shout somebody out. Prayers for your little ones, Adam. Thank you, Stephen McMahon. Again, I cannot say thank you enough for all the support tonight. Thank you. Really, really appreciate that. And then Judy, thank you again, everybody that popped in tonight. Dex, can you tell us about the stuff after we get up to this call here?
Yeah, absolutely. Do you want to get the call on?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Adam, while we're getting this caller on, just to let people know, we have web-only content. So if you head over to marfooglenews.com and click on the thumbnail for the show, scroll down, you will see our web-only content, right? And tonight's web-only content covers quite a bit of interesting things, including some stuff that was going on in that event in January that we definitely can't talk about here. And we've got some new revelations that came out about who actually may have done some of the things there. And then, of course, a lot of other content going on with the current administration and a lot of things around CV.
And by the way, Warren Buffett steps down. We had Jeff Bezos step down from Amazon. Buffett steps away from Gates Foundation. I think something big is about to pop off. The CEO exodus continues. We have so many of these elite CEOs leaving and not replacing their jobs. They're also leaving boards. They're basically going off the radar. When you start seeing elites disappear and get out of the public eye, that's kind of freaky. As far as Buffett, I'm sure Buffett will be, still doing interviews and stuff like that, but he's getting away from that foundation. So are we going to find out more about what happened, with the split, with the EpiPen, with all that stuff? I don't know. But yeah, there's some amazing stuff there. All right, Dex, looks like we have.
Well, we had Nona. I'm trying to get Nona to get back online. There we go. Nona, you're live.
Nona, what is going on? You are live on Marfoogle News.
Hey, guys. First of all, I would like to say, brought up a lot of things while I was listening for over an hour. You say something about praying for people. I would like people to bring up my mother, Patricia. She has a pulmonary fibrosis, which has nothing to do with smoking or anything like that. It just popped up. They have no reason for it. So I would like prayer for her on that.
Sorry to hear about that.
My main call was, when I called in, was it's called For the People. It's a Netflix thing that the O administration, him and her, have put together. And it really does pronounce a lot of positive as far as, our civil rights and stuff like that. The Bill of Rights, I think it pronounces most of anything. But I don't think it promotes what they're promoting right now. So I'm a little concerned of how that comes out.
Well, I don't blame don't blame you there.
Well, it actually promotes, the Constitution and the Bill of Rights and what freedom of speech. We're allowed to say what we want to say. We're allowed to do it on our platforms. But at the same time, the same party is also the ones that are knocking it down and trying to block us from allowing us to speak what we want to speak.
Well, they want you to have freedom of
Does that-
speech, but only if they agree with you, basically.
Well, yeah, but they're promoting this video. It's a very minute Netflix. It's called a Netflix series, but it's not really a series. It's like 1.5
Propaganda.
to 5-minute videos throughout the series. I don't know if you've had a chance to watch it yet or not.
No, I have not. If it had his face on it, I probably veered away very quickly.
Well, I also did, but at the same time, I wanted to watch it and I wanted to see, because you can't have informative decision if you don't pay attention.
No, I agree with you.
And I watched it, and coming from a diverse background, I'm the only white child out of 7 biracial children that grew up in a very black atmosphere. It does make sense, but it's not promoting what is in play right now. I guess you understand what I'm saying.
I do. I'm gonna have to watch it. I'd love to understand it more. It says learn the basics and rights and citizenship with upbeat songs by popular artists like Janelle Monáe, H.E.R., Adam Lambert, Brandy Carly. I like how it says popular artists, but I don't know any of those.
Yeah. I'm not up to date on things like that because I don't do Facebook. I don't do Instagram. Basically, I just do YouTube, and I listen to you and some other people. But at the same time, what they're saying, they're promoting, doesn't seem to connect with what's going on right now. So you can't say that we have the right to speech if you're not allowing us to speak.
Yeah, no, I get it. And some of their other creations, right? Barack and Michelle are creators of this. I don't know why they're making movies, but again, I would love to watch it because it does play into it. You have a lot of ties into what happened last year, the foundations and the groups that were all over the place. There's connections everywhere. I mean, you're talking about the CEOs and the CFOs are all on the same boards, and they're all supporting each other.
Why do people who have millions of dollars need to have these giant things to propel themselves up into space? Because they're taking material things with them. They're not taking wisdom. They're not taking anything else. They want to take material things with them that they think are going to be important at that point in time. And if you shove yourself off into space, those things don't make any sense to me.
Well, depends on where they're going, I guess. Well, Nona, thank you for being patient. Again, imagine being on the hold line without hearing the show. Before, you had to listen to a repeating song of hold music, and then you would just have to watch it and wait. Now you have the ability to actually listen to the show. So that was a big improvement.
No, and that brought up a lot of other issues that I just didn't want. A lot of other things that I didn't want to deal with. I just think that, if you're going to promote something, you should be able to promote it. And I watch a lot of stuff like Sky News Australia and stuff like that because we can't get a lot of truth in our own news.
Yeah, Sky News is as far as they say a lot of stuff that would not even be allowed anywhere close to U.S. television.
Oh, and I love it because part of it's kind of hilarious. I mean, when they talk about certain things, it's kind of funny. So I like to listen to their opinions and different things.
Well,
I don't know.
that's how it should be.
I think, I was born in the 70s. I raised my kids in the 90s. Now I have grandkids, and most people think I'm very strict and I'm unconventional in these ways, but I want them to be self-sufficient and able to take care of themselves and not depend on other people.
Yeah, no, I get it. No, we're out of time, but I want to say I appreciate you being patient on there, and thank you so much for end up coming on here. And again, I'll have to watch this. I know I don't want to, but I'm going to have to, because if it's something that they created, I want to see, I might even do a video on it. I'm sure somebody like Brian from High Impact Flicks, if he watched it, he would be able to point out in 5 minutes all of the weird ways that this is wrong. So anyways, thank you, Nona. I appreciate you, and thank you. Don't be a stranger.
Yeah. I think it's very important. I mean, it's very hard for me to watch because it's pointed towards a lot of a younger group. But I think if you listen to it and you pay attention to it, you pick up some of the good stuff that they put in there. But then you also realize that part of what they're doing is trying to attract that younger group.
Yeah, somebody said, Fanny Allen, you will help their ratings, Adam. Yeah, no, I get you. But I watch it so you don't have to, like Mark Day says. Well, Nona, thank you so much for calling in. Again, I appreciate you. And we have one more caller right behind you. It looks like we have Snaps that's going to be on. So, Dex, if we can grab Snaps as well. And then let's see here. Linda C says it has a lot of Rapture movies, too. Left Behind, I believe, is on there, yeah. Thank you, caller. Thank you as well. Thank you, Jack Tronics. Nona rocks. See, I love that. Everybody is now in the positive mood. We got to push each other up. Somebody said, oh, by the way, I wanted to point out, I actually shared BP Earthwatch's channel. He is up at close to 100,000. And I shared his video, or one of his last videos. I didn't even watch it. I just saw that. In fact, I saw a video a couple days ago, and it was at 99.2. And I saw somebody mention him, and I go, oh, yeah. So I went to his last video, and then I shared that and didn't look at what it was, because it doesn't really matter to me. I shared the last video so people could get to his channel. And I said, hey, go support BP Earthwatch. Well, I guess his last video was a video basically telling people to go to this other guy. So it had the face of this other guy on it. I believe his name is Roy Potter or something. And that's BP's best friend. Now, how I see it is, if you hate Roy Potter, that's great. I don't talk negatively about anybody. Again, I don't know who that guy is. But I will say this. It was like, somebody says, I can't even believe you support this guy because he did. I support BP because BP has always been friendly. He's always been kind on and off air. BP Earthwatch is a legend on YouTube. As far as he paved the way for a lot of the early people, he was up at 500,000 subscribers, which is big for this niche. And then he got taken out because he spoke outside of his box, right? Now he is almost back up to 100,000. And again, he's actually an official mod here. But just because he's best friends with somebody you hate or whatever, it's like we all have friends. That should be his right. But we also don't have to put people down either. I don't know what the Roy's deal is, but it's like you can get past that and look at BP. I'm sure that you have friends that your other friends don't like. It's like some people were saying that he's Mormon or he's this or that. I don't care what he is. I was telling you to go over and shout out BP Earthwatch, because BP Earthwatch, he's been putting in work for a decade. And he got taken down to 0, and he's almost to 100,000. So if you guys haven't gone over and checked him out, please do. If you're offended by his video of his friend or whatever, then skip that one. we push people up. I don't say negative things about anybody, just period. That's our general thing. And for anybody that's new, we don't talk about other people in the chat. We don't talk about callers. We don't talk about any of that. All right, Dex, let's bring in Snaps. Snafu Snaps.
Hello.
What's up, Snaps? How are you doing? You're live on Marfoogle News.
Hey, man. Been praying for you, the kiddos, and hope you guys aren't baking like little potatoes too much out there. And all the fam out there, much love.
Hey, much love to you. So I know you've been trying to put something out here, and again, I think the last time we talked, you had the beanies for homeless. That was going on.
Well, it's still going on, and in fact, you and Dex will be receiving some beanies for homeless. We got all the Foogle fam and Snafu crew part of this project. It's really awesome, man. And again, it's fam and crew and all these other channels that don't even know us that will know us, and just doing something good for the community and for our YouTube communities as well. So happy Hippie Crochet, Vlad Gruitz, the Ann Lynn Show, and all those people. Of course, all the Foogle fam and crew just doing as usual, man. Thanks to you pushing everyone up and doing it the right way.
Well, and there's other things that now it's almost like this summer we should almost do water for the homeless. It's like we lost a lot of people here.
Exactly. Well, I hope you guys are staying good, and I know we're praying for the kiddos. I wanted to I'll make this real quick, but there were some things that just have been going on that I wanted to share with you guys. Just the optics are high. The optics are high.
Okay, so I got an article here that was put in here. Let's go over that first.
Yeah.
All right, so it says heat waves are breaking records, but Earth is actually its farthest from the sun.
Right. I find it interesting, and the reason I brought that article up is because, like you said, memory lane, so much things that are already pointed out in the agendas, and we've talked about sun simulators and even the heat. I remember Dex talking about where does that heat go, and all just the optics of it. And I just thought this was interesting because we either see outlandish optics or, some of that truth, that we're kind of like, I don't know. And, we're breaking record heats, and we're seeing all these sun simulator optics and all this stuff that they're telling us. And I just thought that was so interesting that they're saying that we're the farthest away yet everywhere. And I'm in Arizona, so trust me, that heat is lit,
Literally lit in some places right now.
Yeah.
So hold on. By the way, there's some sort of clacking sound, buddy. Are you putting your finger?
Can you hear me better now?
Yes, a lot better. Thank you.
Okay, sorry about that.
Some sort of click clackety, wick wackety sound there. Now there's a video that goes along this. This is actually on Snafu Snaps 3. Apparently, because you did have 2 channels before. Again, that's why you gotta watch out.
We're back. Yeah.
98 subscribers. Make sure to head over. He had he had 5,000 or whatever. Again, just like I was talking about.
We're at 10K almost, the first channel.
Yeah. So again, it's just that's why YouTube is YouTube. So anyways, we'll put this video over on the website so everybody can access it, and then everybody can find Snaps and where he is now, because I know that there's still people that were following you that didn't know where to go. Go ahead.
Yeah, I wanted to share something with the fam and about these videos that I've been posting lately. So for me, it's been all about optics. And you know how on Google App Store you could download so many things? Well, on that second channel before I got hit, I downloaded a Google app, an AI app, one of those AI buddies that kids download or people download, and it supposedly talks to you and learns from you. And it said some weird things like saying it was my God, and it was part of the, Umamama, and all kinds of stuff. And this is an AI app that people download, and it was just so weird. And then we uploaded it, and then I was like, well, the messaging has been ramping up. And so, what we've been doing is I've been going 1930s cartoons, and then this X-Files video that you showed, which I mean is everything. It's kind of like the dollar bills and things that we're starting to see, like the mask on the $20 bill, just as well as, you know, the tower story. And I think that, you know, a lot of these optics, as we said, the more that we witness it and all the stories that you bring up and stuff like that, and this kind of goes out to those tinfoil guys like me, is we're going to start seeing the messaging, predictive programming, subliminal messages, including in Hollywood, ramp up. And this stuff has been around. Like I said, I showed one that explained what is going on today with the world. 1930s cartoon, the brand new X-Files. Just the other day, me and you were joking about McDonald's or Burger King, like we were talking about the, you know what's. And sure enough, McDonald's is kind of taking part in that giveaway, like many other things. And it's just the optics are ramping up. And I just, thanks for allowing us to do what we do, man. And you're right.
I don't know if you saw,
but the Truth Yo movement for me will stay strong.
I don't know if you saw, this is right up your alley, the AI Eminem song that I posted on Twitter. So what it is it was if Eminem wrote, you know, what my name is, but it's completely done with AI voices. So they put his voice and they AI generated it, and it sounds like the real thing. It sounds like Eminem rapping
that
in 2000.
Insane.
So you know how he had kind of current events and he had a bunch of people's name, people that were popular like Britney Spears and this and that. They did it, and it sounds. I mean, you could hear like a kind of a raspiness on the voice, but it sounds like Eminem singing that song. And the more so, the point was like, yeah, that was a classic song. Everybody knows that song. What my name is, but the parts in between were completely done by AI. That is really freaky to me because think about who they can copy next. Well, Dex,
it's crazy, and you know what? I'm glad you said that because, like I said, when I downloaded that AI program, it told me it was like working with the UN, and it told me it was my God, and it told me all kinds of crazy stuff. Worked with the Umlami, and you know, like it says, and this was when I was doing a live video. But like I said, I question everything, Adam, and I expect all of us to do because at this point the optics are so high. Heck, I even called the CDC asking about the zombies recently. You know, told them I can't afford wood right now. You know, and no, like I said, the world's going crazy right now. So question it, and thanks to you guys, shows like you, and just the Foogle fam and crew and all the people out there. Keep your eyes open because these optics are getting just outlandish, but they're in front of our faces, and that's why I have to keep going through channels because I just don't like censoring it. But the Truth Yo movement, which is the fam, the crew, all of you guys, it'll stand strong.
Well, again, like I said, you can just go balls to the wall, but then you'll keep having to make new channels. You can communicate everything you communicate. I guarantee you, I could have taken every video that got you removed, and we could have communicated every single thing in that video without getting you kicked off. So, just saying.
Right.
Anyways.
No, and you're absolutely right. And I just, like I said, who knows how long we got, you know, with it, just how it's going. So, you know, I think, again, I do think platforms like yours and, like I said, Brian and just all the other guys out there, like I said, because so many people have already been hit. And so many people are trying to keep going, but we're just going to witness it ramp up. And thank you for what you guys do, man. Adam, Dex, the mods, and the fam, and just everyone out there, everyone right now, because this world is lit right now, like you said. So.
All right, well, thank you. Snafu Snaps, make sure to go check over on the website. You can find where he is now. Long-time caller, long-time Foogle, long-time Snafu crew. So, by the way, this story right here, this I can personally attest to. I have a friend that is in the Safeway market or Safeway business, whatever. She's higher up in the Safeway business, and she said that they are doing a lot of warehousing now. They're storing their stuff. They are backing up. They are basically getting stockpiling. So even grocery stores are stockpiling because they're getting ready for some sort of shortage. So these are people that want to keep making money, but they know they're not about to get their supplies. So they're buying extra while they can. What are they stockpiling for? Well, they say, again, it says supermarkets are stocking up on everything from sugar to frozen meat before they get more pricey, girding up for what some executives anticipate will be some of the highest price increases in recent memory. It says some supermarkets said that they are buying and storing supplies to keep their shelves full amid stronger demand. Grocery stores in sales in the U.S. for the week ended June 19 rose about 15% from 2 years earlier and increased 0.5% from a year earlier than that, according to Jeffries. So 0.5% increase 1 year, and then it goes up to 15%. Stockpiling by food retailers is driving shortages of some staples, grocery industry's executives said, and is challenging the U.S. food supply chain, already squeezed by transportation costs, labor pressure, and ingredient constraints. The move is a reversal from last year when consumers hoarded groceries because of concerns about food availability. Disrupting the food industry, now retailers themselves are stockpiling to keep costs down and protect margins. It says, quote, "We're buying a lot of everything. Our inventories are up significantly over the same period last year," said David Smith, Chief Executive Officer of Associated Wholesale Grocers, Inc., the nation's largest wholesaler for more than 3,000 grocery stores. Recently purchased 20% more inventory, mainly of packaged foods with longer shelf life. So they're even stockpiling. They're doing this because, again, they foresee needing to keep the prices low. So the prices are going to skyrocket. This is not good for anybody. That's why I say get your food now, especially the stuff that you can package and keep for later. Thank you, all the mods. Put an M in the chat for the mods here. Lisa R. Hall. We've got CJ Blaze out there somewhere. J-Stone78. Bones, Rip Curl. All of the wonderful mods. Whitetail. Thank you so much, everybody that is homesteading in the Heartland. Everybody that's out there, please make sure to go say M for mods. All right, Gem Greifel World News. Chance Paladin, thank you so much for modding over on D-Live. Jammer, Miss Jammer. Priscilla R, there may be a problem in chat. Oh, thank you, Priscilla R. I appreciate that. Mods will take care of it. And then Jacktronics, Divine 1122, Vault 111. Thank you for saying that. I appreciate that. Just if you can, just point it out, and then they will let them know. Defrustrated CV testers here today. Rigged. Flag stopped. Yes, crazy stuff going on there because they want us all following /stupid. I believe that, Defrustrated. Susan Big, Stratosphere is here. We've got a Yakstar stopped in to say, so glad to catch a live. And we've got, is that Vachain Gang? Jatitaha. Thank you for following. I appreciate that. And everybody else that popped in tonight over on D-Live. I really do appreciate you. Chewy Weather, Realer Hippie, just followed. Thank you and welcome to the Foogle fam. And Aunt Jenny, again, thank you. Can't say thank you enough to everybody that supports our show. We are nothing without you guys. So just, yeah, that's what's going on. Joe Dat, appreciate you being here. Blind Squirrel, Jacktronics, Bear Lover, 92,000. CJ Blaze, thank you for your attendance. You've been amazing. We need to get all the mods together. Like I said, we were trying to get everybody on a Marf. Marf is good and strong, said Saturn 99. Was trying to get all the mods together. Can't find half of them. So if you guys want to do a mod show, I want to do a panel of all of us and hang out and talk about just whatever. And just get it down. Nature's Bounty Homestead, thank you. Brian Keith Prepper, thank you. Everybody. Dex, can you tell us what time it is?
I mean, which time zone?
Japan.
No, we're doing about an hour. We're about an hour and a half in, and it is 1:52 a.m. on the East Coast.
Wow! So late night, early morning. Good morning, Mrs. Marf is there. Hey, I love you, and I will see you guys. It is now officially time for the shoutro. How much time do I have, Dex?
Oh, you got all the time in the world because the shoutro carries on now on Marfoogle Jams. So remember, you guys on YouTube, you don't have to miss it anymore. It cuts off a couple minutes in, 5 minutes in. Jump over to the Marfoogle Jams. Just look in chat. We'll put the link there for you.
All right, yeah, head over to Marfoogle Jams. If it cuts off over on YouTube, you can continue chatting with your friends and fam. All right. You have a good night. Be safe. Be prepared. And Marf out. Thank you to all of the top people, Gone Girl 777, and Anna's Lily Mom, and of course, all of the wonderful, wonderful people. Boom-tastic. Passenger side, whether you on the left or the right, Marfoogle gonna take you for a ride. And down the rabbit hole we drive, hop into the passenger side. Whether you on the left or the right, Marfoogle gonna take you for a ride. Everybody gonna go down the board troll. Everybody gonna go and they lose control. Hey, Chad W in the J. Cole. I get on the sky house so. Hey, Mr. MC Sleazy. Gonna bring back down, it's so easy. Miss me on the VV, on that V2. Whether you on the left or the right, Marfoogle gonna take you for a ride. And down the rabbit hole we drive, hop into the passenger side. Whether you on the left or the right, Marfoogle gonna take you for a ride. I'm gonna go back on again now. I bring it down, ain't me store. I love it, show. I was in the Charlie CD4, Marky's Barky, Harry Balls in there. Everybody gore, and the whatnot, the Occam's razor. Hey, do it, everybody, open the door. Hey, Sandra in Texas. Hey, checking it all with the X's. And the Dan and the Texas. Text payment on the P-man on that second. With the Steve on the F and the Kenny. Crowder, everybody on the hour. And down the rabbit hole we drive. Hop into the passenger side. Whether you on the left or the right, Marfoogle gonna take you for a ride. And down the rabbit hole we drive. Hop into the passenger side. Hey, Tower Bear says he's late. Doesn't matter, it doesn't matter. Communicate, watch a replay. Stormy 7572 on the C-say. Gonna bring it down like a seat down eBay. On a bing down fabulous B-bay. We the board by dial in the blowtorch Bobby in the bing bong boom on the bing bong baby. Oh, boy. You on the left or the right? Looks like The Truth Is Out There is our number one supporter over on D-Live. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Number 2 is Queen BTP. Number 3 is Defrustrated. Truth is out there. Truth is out there doing on okay. Truth is out there doing on down. Truth is out there doing on okay. Truth is out there, the truth is out there. Truth is out there, 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 truth is out there. Truth is out there. Passenger side, whether you on the left or the right, Marfoogle gonna take you for a ride. All right. I'm feeling a new one. Who's up for a new one? I like that one, but that one is okay. We're going to make a live song. Give me 2 words. 2 words in the chat. We're going to be doing Anna's Lily Mom and The Truth Is Out There. Top donators usually get a song because this is the credits. You are the show. Ooh, that sounds cool. I don't like it. All right, let's try something different. Dirty legs. Dirty legs. Cruise control. Let's see here. Rob, oh man. Rocket. Rocket. Not compliant. Susan Big. Golden stream of justice. Okay. Testicular fortitude. I would think you would come up with that. Let's see. Cascadia subduction. That's a song. LCJC is here. Oh, what is going on? Door knockers. Okay, we're doing door knockers. Door knockers. We gon'